folks, welcome back for another episode of Our Journeys. We are jumping into the fray with Yukinu. I believe just Inu is the name that we're going with here. Got a nice, shiny, premium alternate art version of the Cunning Ally.
My friend would like a word with them.
Interesting look. Interesting look. I haven't got to see much of it. I haven't come across it. Of course, the tournament this weekend is yet another card that I already have. Listen, I mean, what are the odds? I think every championship that's gone, are Merrick and Supreme Matromancers with a lot of Nord. Oh, cool. Okay. So if you all remember from a previous video, we got to see Brother Ridge playing a similar thing. It's the Supreme Matromancer, and you have, ideally, you play her with a handful, maybe 4 or 5 Nord Firebrands, and she just does 22 damage? It's 2 per creature. So that'd be 8 to 10 damage plus her summon. So yeah, 12 to 15 damage. It can get very close to closing out a game. I think it's almost impossible to have enough Firebrands in hand to do an OTK with her if your opponent's sitting at 30 health. But that is what Inu is up to. And Balta FR, I don't know what FR is. I don't think that's Friends. Is it? One of you friends can let me know. I think Friends. The Friends group is actually spelled out Friends. Not sure what FR is. It does have the Centurion banner. So somebody who has ground out 100 wins with the neutral deck, and is really pushing the aggression here against Inu in a tight spot. Does have, between the Bannerman and Supreme Matromancer, we'll probably see the Bannerman come down here. If nothing else to try to address. No? Okay. Yeah. All right. But, I mean, he's going to be taking 11 damage guaranteed. Well, probably 13 damage with the Tome. He can play Vigilant Giant next turn, which is going to be helpful. But, I mean, that I can't remember her name either. The mage. Royal Sage. Not a mage, she's a sage. Giving the 4-3 award, the Cunning Ally award, was huge. And now he's going to lose. Has lost his creature. The only thing I will say that's good here, I didn't notice this until now, he's trying this deck out. So we are actually seeing this. Oh, no, this is an event. I was thinking this is casual. No, this is the event. What is it? After you summon a creature here, reduce the cost of a random card in your hand by 1. Okay. Gonna reward the 1/1. No, okay. That's a bit of a tough call. Now, if you don't have, in this particular situation, I think that was the right move. And arms the 2/1 so that she trades with both the 4/3 and the 3/3, depending on what shakes out here from Balta. Gets that 4 damage, and in these colors, you've got Ancanos and Lightning Bolts. And yeah, I think Inus just doesn't really have a way to finish this off. Too many, all the wards, yeah. I mean, Earthbone can get rid of that. Can get rid of 1. Can't play Vigilant Giant, and that could roll a Merrick. And if you get 2 Bone Bows, I don't even know if that would do it. Okay, so as it stands now,
let kind guide me.
I think he's still alive. Because that just leaves Balta with the 1/1. We could see him pull it back from the brink here. He's got a nice discounted Supreme Matromancer, so she...
They best not anger me.
Oh, no! I mean, it's still... so he will be able to hit for 3. So that was a great top deck by Balta, is not drawing certainly not drawing the crappy side of his deck. As many of us are wont to do. Oh, another Atromancer. Man. It's just the wrong cards at the wrong time for Inu, unfortunately. That's when you really need the big ones. The Belly G can get rid of another one. Okay, so Merrick. Oh, great pull for Merrick. But that's it.
My honor.
Inu giving the respect there, and Balta is going to finish it off. Yeah. We're going to go ahead and check out another Yukinu game since we kind of came in more or less at the middle towards the end of the last one. He said after the last loss, he was like, I should go back to playing Unite. But unfortunately, he can't play Unite in this gauntlet. So that's probably why we're not seeing it here.
Apologies.
And see, and that's just great. I just want to point out those small things. So Yukinu took a second to chat with me right up front. So it stalled his hand, or him choosing his cards by a little bit. Not a big amount. It wasn't like, you know, the timer went down, but it was just enough that he said, "Hey, I'm sorry. Hello." Like I feel like that's just that extra touch that ideally we'd all have, where we acknowledge, oh yeah, and I do that too. It's not a laud thing. It's not like, oh, that's the most amazing thing. It's just, it's not a courtesy you always get a lot of times. You know, for whatever reason, maybe somebody had somebody come to the door, and you know, there's many of innocuous and non-mean reasons why somebody would not respond immediately, or you know, not go, you know, not play cards quickly in that first and second turn. But it's just kind of a nice thing to acknowledge. Oh, my bad. Yeah, it took me a second. Sorry. And then the greeting. I just feel like that is a gentlemanly, well, not gentlemanly, because it transcends gentlemanliness. It is just the proper way, the right way to conduct yourself, I think, in a competition. I mean, Yakimoso might not have cared. A lot of you probably don't care, but... And I wouldn't care. I wouldn't think anything of it. I just know stuff happens. But it's kind of an extra bonus. Like if my opponent does that, I'm like, cool. Like I like this person already, and I don't know them. I don't know anything about them. All I know is that's how they conduct themselves. That they have that level of consideration. That even with a 15-second delay, they're like, hey, my bad. I'm in the game. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Glad to be here. Let's get this done. So I'm not sure. Going to see if we're going to see Yukinu. Okay. Yep. Didn't think he was going to break the ward. In a good position right now against Yakimosa. So we got Yuki and Yaki, if we were to shorten the names. But I know it's Inu is we're shortening that portion of it. But it's just interesting that we've got almost identical first four letters here with just slight vowel variation. I don't know why I'm talking about that instead of the game. We have a little bit of a lull here, as Yakimosa the Smart is pondering the cards that he has in hand and seeing what he's going to do. It's an interesting way to play it. I think, you know, especially when you play down the 0-5 guard with Regenerate, that can really put a crimp in, especially if you're going to throw a dagger on it or something. So now you've got a pretty formidable low-cost barrier and board removal. And Yukinu with Inu again with the great answer to the Venom Tongue, and not so much anymore. But with the Belly G, see, this is it's a different style of game. The last game we saw, it's kind of always on the back foot, really having no great answers to what his opponent was playing. But now we're seeing, and I'm almost positive we're going to see the Belly G boot the Gatekeeper, so he can get that trade with the Venom Tongue instead of taking away the amulet. Because you're not... Yeah, okay. I was going to say, because you're not really worried too much about them gaining that little bit of health at this particular time. Obviously, Yakimosa is running a controlled deck of sorts. Oh, and the poop stone! Oh, I smell the stench of the... Ugh. 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 Before Invade came along, that was my most loathed card. We do have... so I haven't shown it yet. You'll see it later on in this video and all the videos moving forward. I'm going to have it's a fake sponsor. Obviously, I'm not being sponsored by the cards. All right, so Yaki knows that he was not going to get that trade with the giant otherwise, so he goes ahead and preempts it. A good short-term strategy, but now he's really running low on cards, and there may be something else that he would rather have used that on. But you got to play what you've got. You can't always be thinking, well, they may play a big card that I'd want to use this for. He was going to take 7 damage from the giant if he didn't make that play, so it's kind of a darned if you do type thing. Cunning Ally gets the discount, but just not enough. Yeah. So he's got the Supreme Atromancer in hand already. Oh. Yep, Poopstone doing what Poopstone does, which is smear the board with all kinds of ridiculous RNG nonsense. Wow. Really surprised.
You have my thanks.
Yeah, that was a puzzling move from Yakimosa, who, as I said, okay, never mind. So maybe Yakimosa is relatively new, is building up a collection. Because, as much as people might take this as a slight, I feel like Mundus is a prop. It's there to prop up players who otherwise are not don't have enough confidence in the deck to really to just play it as is.
Time to fight.
Knowing what he's trying to do, I could have seen Skaven be the ideal play there, but I guess he wanted to get the other Bannerman down. So he's going to be able to get a ton of Firebrands. He's going to have to play a lot, get a lot out of his hand though, to make room for four of those Firebrands. So we'll probably see Cunning Ally, maybe even Merrick. Can't do.
They will fall before my blade.
And yeah, now we're I'm focused on the wrong thing once again, and just not even seeing what's going on in that. Oh, because wait, did she get charged? Is that what happened? Yeah, I was looking at his hand. I wasn't focused on the board. I need to be smarter than that. So I guess she got charged, is what I'm guessing. Is he going to try to finish it here? He might be able to. He's got 11 plus 4 on the summon. That's 15. Okay, so he's clearing his hand for more Nords.
Spirits of Oblivion.
Okay, so yeah, he's going to be able to make that push. He might do it. The numbers. I don't know. Well, yeah, maybe. So she's going to do 4. 2 from the Firebrands. Yeah, he's got this. Wow. Wow, exact lethal.
In my honor.
Well, practically exact. So not exact at all, but well done, Inu. Holy cow.
So I thought it might be a good idea to try and get some gains from some of Friends group who haven't been captured on film so far. So this is your introduction to gratu-Friends, who's a really lovely chap, one of my favourites in the group, and he's playing a lot less these days. Obviously, he's got, without going into sort of family details, he's got a young family, so he's putting that as his priority. So generally speaking, Gratu aims to make 4 each month at the moment. And he tends to do just his daily quests and also just try to make 4 each season. So we come in a bit late to this one, but I think there's still plenty of capacity, particularly as he's got the amulet up for him to make a comeback. Gratu's very talented with Telvanni, and also very good with Empire as well. Good that he's got Journey in hand and another conscription. That will really help him. He's definitely going to stabilise very well. As long as they don't have a Shadow Fen. This should see the start of him pivoting, really.
We fight for the glory of lost Almeries.
That's a very nice pick for the opponent, isn't it? I mean, them getting Psy was really good, wasn't it? Not my favourite support, although let's face it, I'm not really a fan of supports anyway. But I can see why he wants that level of the keyword assistance, because he is having to come from behind. I wonder whether he's gonna have to really put a guard down in that other lane. So obviously Journey, if he can stay alive for long enough, he's going to hold off on that.
If I fall, the East will reclaim me.
Tell me who needs bludgeoning.
I like that. Nice use of the harpy. Yeah, so this is pivot time, I reckon. Unless they've got some really good removal.
At the ready.
Khajiit will keep you safe.
Really good for Gratu that he's got lethal on that side, so he doesn't need to worry too much about the big guard. Obviously he's got quite a few issues to sort there. And this is where that amulet's really going to help.
Must I do everything myself?
Now, he'll probably take the ward off the big Atronak, I imagine. Oh, nice. Very clever. Oh, that makes such a sad little sound when it dies, doesn't it? And it's still got a nice viper. I can't do the snake noise very well, but it is one of my favourites.
The tribunal will always come to the people's aid. The tribunal's
That's a bit of a sad ceremony, isn't it?
This should help you.
I reckon he might journey this round and then do conscription the following.
I'll scout ahead.
That's going to come in handy for him, isn't it? Okay, so he's making certain he's got plenty of health. They're back on par. Always good, because you never know if someone's going to drop a Golden Saint. Is it Golden Saint? What's the one who replicates itself? I forget his name now. I get all of those confused. I'm terrible for remembering. And then I think the other altar will go up. No, amulet. I keep calling it altar. It's an amulet, isn't it? It shows how little I play supports, doesn't it? Look at that Brotherhood assassin. Very buff. I think they're going to concede.
The victory is yours.
Well done, Gratu.
This episode brought to you by the Champion of Cyrodiil, a 5-cost 5/6 in Empire colors that, upon summoning, destroys all creatures in that lane with less than 3 power and prevents the opponent from invading. I do like this card a lot. I think the art, first of all, is great. I love the effect, your opponent can't invade, and partly because of that, I really would like to see this in neutral. It is not unprecedented to have Empire-esque or Imperial cards in neutral colors. We know that Training Grounds and other cards like that are there. I just think that is a wonderful gift to bestow to anyone, regardless of deck composition or attribute. I would like to see that neutral. A little hypocritical because I think I have a card that I did that's anti-invade that is also in like Battle Mage colors or something, so I gotta point the finger at myself, but in general, I think I would like to see that. There may be reasons why it isn't a neutral or why it is an Empire that I'm not thinking of, but that would be something I'd like to see. I would also say that between the Allied Guardians and New Era, the last thing that Empire needs right now is a 5-cost unconditional board clear for 3 power creatures or less. Now, granted, a lot of your stuff like in aggro is going to be bigger static creatures, but there's a lot of stuff that are smaller that are giving the boost, like your 5th Legion Trainer, your Orc Clan Captains. Those are all going to be under 3. This is a miniature Dawn, like I said, a little miniature Dawn's Wrath, and considering Cradle Crush is a 6-cost, 6/4, conditional. It does 2 damage, but doesn't touch wards. Obviously, it's not going to clear out a 2/3 that's on the board, or a 1/4, or anything like that. That summon power is very strong in general, but for Empire, for Telvanni, and probably even Tribunal, I think that's a really very strong anti-aggro effect that those colors don't necessarily need. With Ice Storms, Fingers of the Mountain, I mean, I know, Immolating Blast and Dawn's Wrath, this is just, again, this is a much cheaper, I'm not putting, oh, by the way, I forgot to say, this is created by Vincenzo. I'll lead with that next time. I gotta remember that it is essentially, and it is brought to you by the Champion of Cyrodiil, created by Vincenzo. But just gonna go ahead and wrap this up. I'm not assigning any nefarious intent there, of course, but it does seem to be all the really good anti-aggro stuff is at least a 6-cost or more. I think this is, I like the fact that it is unique. Like I said, I like the card art, I like the concept, but maybe it's overpowered for, a 5/6 is pretty darn good. Valen, I think, is a 4/6, if I recall. I think that's the guy. Black Dragon is a 4-cost 5/5, so it kind of does fit in there stat-wise, but then you add unconditional, moderately conditional board wipe, 3 power or less. Now it does say less than 3 power, so maybe that's not quite as big, and maybe that's specifically to target like gates and things, but it does seem to have a little bit more of that ability to control the board at a much earlier state with a big body. That might be a little, maybe at a 6 or 7 cost, perhaps that would make it more feasible, but then I think you lose a lot of the appeal, which is getting rid of aggro, lower statted aggro, buff creatures and things. But I think it's also as well, invade, a lot of those cards are low cost. So your 1/4, your 1/1s, your imps, your gimps, your whatever the heck they are, those are all typically lower cost as well. So it kind of just clears the board, gets the gate out of the way. Although it does say creatures in the lane. I don't know that a gate is considered a creature, so I don't know if that was intentional, if it's meant to be able to clear out a gate and prevent that, or it's saying no, creatures are gone, the gate will still be there. Because I don't know that it may be a creature, it may be considered a danger creature. So I don't know, but anyway, I like the idea of it. I think Vincenzo is onto something there. I love anything that can have an impact on invade. I'm just a little bit leery. One, like I said, I'd like to see it in neutral, but just a little bit leery of seeing more removal like that at a lower cost in Empire. That would be my only consideration. But otherwise, a great conceptual card. And like I said, I don't know when it comes down to cost versus stats. Really, I know what I'm used to seeing, but I don't know ultimately what that is. I do think it may need to bump up the price. If everything stays the same as it is, I think the cost of it may need to go up a little bit. But then again, the other side of that is invade. Part of the problem is, if you wait till turn 7 or 8, the gate's already gone off like crazy. So maybe you take away the destroy creatures in the lane with less than 3 power, especially if that is meant to be a gate wipe. Especially in those colors, in Empire you have the most ability because you've got lethal and you've got all those cards like the Grizzly Gourmet and Aerostorm and Execute. You've got all those ways to eliminate gates already. I think maybe this might be better suited. It would probably, I mean, Champion of Cyrodiil, the name, would have to be Empire, but to keep the context of the card, but maybe put it in a color that doesn't, or a color scheme that doesn't necessarily already have a lot of great answers to invade. What is it? Like Intelligence. Anything Intelligence, Battle Mage, really the only thing they've got is the 5/3 Hatchery Meddler or whatever it is. The card that can swap your stats, so it can essentially, it can destroy a gate. You know, if it's 0/4, it swaps the stats, it becomes a 4/0, which is nothing, and it goes away. That's really your only weapon, and in a 50-card deck, 3 copies is kind of a lot, I think. And in a 75-card deck, it's really not enough. If that's really your only direct answer to invade, that's not a lot. So maybe seeing this in a Battle Mage set or a Covenant might be a little bit more apropos just because the weaponry isn't really there to deal with it. But, again, that's just my thoughts. But I like it, and I do appreciate it being a sponsor of this video. Without its support, we would not be here. Anyway, back to the games.
Coming in a little bit late on another Eisbarren game, but both players are pretty much, it looks like, evenly matched. Novator? The Gravedigger has just unleashed a conscription, but against a ton of Aelid Guardians, those lethal creatures are going to do jack diddly squit. So it is very close, but we've got Control Telvanni, Conscription Control Telvanni against, I don't know if you'd call it Aelid Guardian Scout, but it is definitely a Scout deck, and it's going to bring back the Grey Fox. So he's looking to grab something that we haven't seen because I just jumped in late. So Piercing Twilight, and I'm guessing is going to get rid of all the conscriptions. And there it goes. So he will not have to worry about that in the future. And it allows him, that guard allows him to weather this storm. Since both lethal creatures are in the shadow lane, they are going to pretty much that whole lane is going to have to trade into the Guardian. You got a total of unless Novator has a Mummify, in which case Eyes is going to take a lot of damage there. But as we know, he's got 2 Guardians in hand. So, and it looks like, they're on the far left side, so he's probably had them in his hand for a while. So it's actually it's to his credit that he has survived this long, having those very high-cost cards in hand for what seems like a long time. Great to see Frost Giant in play. Doesn't get a lot of love. I never thought I would use it enough to warrant crafting it. So I did eventually get it in a pack at one point, but only 1 copy, and I really haven't had a chance to play it. It always seems like those fun cards that you're like, oh, this will be cool. When it regenerates, it gains health, or you gain health. It regenerates, and when it regenerates, however much health it regenerates, you regenerate as well. So it's kind of a, symbiotic thing. So hopefully, for Eyes, he does. The Gravedigger does not have another Mummify, and he's going to be able to take care of pretty much the entire board as it stands now. Obviously, if the Gravedigger has, Cruel Fire Bloom, that's going to shift things up quite a bit. But Eyes has enough other cards on the board to make that a risky proposition without removing the Guardians first. Ideally, if he has it and he's going to use it, he wants it to hit one of the Guardians, but it could very well wipe out the 1/4 or the 4/2, neither one of which are really going to help the situation. We know he doesn't have any more conscriptions, and so if that was kind of the linchpin of his deck, that's the way he was going to close this thing out. It's going to be a bit difficult for him. Another Aelid Guardian waiting in the wings. And yeah, no answer for it, so yeah, it takes care of the entire shadow lane until the Necromancer comes out. And by the way, in case you were wondering, there it is. There's Cruel Fire Bloom. Like I said, hoping to hit the Guardian, does not. So even though he is able to trigger. I mean, that Cat's Paw is like it astounds me that is the primary card draw, I think, of Telvanni. Like, that's the big one. It's 2 cards, does the 5 damage usually if you can do the Cruel Fire Bloom with it. It's just crazy. Okay, and gets a nice Traven out of the deal. And a nice 7/7, which pairs up well against the Guardian, and a 6/4. So yeah, really, what we're witnessing here is Ice hitting in these past two games what I would consider an exponential amount of really poor luck. That said, you could say having all three Allied Guardians at the end of the game isn't too bad, but there are definitely worse cards, I think, that could have been spawned from that. What's it? Tinkering? Barrel Czar's Tinkering, yeah. Either way, Ice has an upward climb, as the great Gravedigger does have 34 health and 4 runes to get through. So I think we will see the Guardian come down. That just seems to be the smart play. And that's great. You know, a lot of people miss that, and I missed it at first. I would see something like that and be like, why wouldn't you shackle the 3/7? Because you want the 3/7 to be the one that has to trade into the 8/1. You don't want that value trade with, which can be hard to do because you never know what your opponent is what they're going to play or what they're going to be capable of. All right, that's the first shout I had of that kind there. So this may not have been a shout Telvanni, which it very rarely is. You see a lot of Parthenax without shouts. I'm guessing he's got another Soul Tear so that he can run the loop. He's bringing back Ancano next turn. So yeah, I mean, getting that Frost Giant down is going to be great. Well, I just missed something. What did I miss? He didn't just play Siege. What did he... Holy cow, folks, I apologize. I mean, I'm staring right at the screen here, and I have no idea what just happened here. Why did it spawn all those cards? I don't know. So he does get that favorable trade there in the field lane. Probably Frost. I mean, he can do Frost and Shadowfen if he wants to. If he wants to get rid of that. I would have thought you'd want that against Parthenax. But maybe he's counting... No, I think he's trying to make his push here. Might have done Squish. No, that would have been bad. That would have been bad. Because what he really needs to do is get that healing factor. So, can he... I mean, he can squish something, obviously, because he has it in his hand. The question is, can he heal? Because it's going to take a turn. He has to have it survive for a turn in order to... And right now, anything he squishes that he's going to be able to heal for, and Kano is going to wreck it. So he's definitely in a bad spot. It's a good thing he held on to that Shadowfen. That is going to be a huge target for that. Again, Guardians, great to see against lethal when you're on this side of the board. You know, when you're rooting for somebody, it's great to see those Guardians because of how versatile and how powerful they are. But yeah, it's unfortunately he knows that the Gravedigger is sitting on Ancano, which means if he does use Squish, he has to save his life. But there's really not going to be any way that he's not going to be allowed to heal for that, unfortunately. Ancano's going to come down and destroy the 10-1 to prevent that healing. But in so doing, well, he's got a lot of Magicka to work with as well. Yeah. I think overall they've been really played well by Eisbarren. It's just his opponent just seems to have, like with every turn, His opponent just seems to have the right combination of cards to play that just doesn't let him get his footing. Now, if the Gravedigger does not hit the troll, that's going to be huge.
Many important things on my mind.
Does he have a lightning bolt? He has to have a lightning bolt. You don't leave the troll alive. He's going to heal for 9. Wow. Wow. So Eyes just got a huge perk. That I don't know if the Gravedigger didn't realize what's about to happen. Or maybe he's got a curse.
Mistakes were made.
Yeah. Now we didn't see him hovering over, so I don't think he's referring necessarily to that. But that is a huge. Okay, maybe not as huge as I thought. But with the Guardians coming down. Wait a minute. 18, 21, 27. He would have to get rid of Ancano in order to make Mannimarco. Would that even win it? 18, 20, 23. It would win. If he could, can he get rid of, he can Shadow Fen. He can Shadow Fen and Kano. No, but then he would have to kill him with the, is he going to do that?
This should help.
Nope. Okay. I was going to say, because he could have done that and Mannimarco had brought back Ancano and got him down to 1, I think, actually. That's a lot of gymnastics, though. Yeah, I think... I mean, I wouldn't go so far as to call it a misplay, necessarily. Ooh, Terratoda Viper is good. Come on, Ice. Come on. So you gotta. Oh, and it still wouldn't have been able to do it anyway because killing Ancano would have healed him for 1 anyway. So he would have been 2 or 3 off. I don't know, but that would have been a way forward. Ooh, with the breakthrough, he's really pushing it. That was another reason to get rid of Ancano with that Shadow Fen and Spider combo. But I mean, when you're looking at all the different options, that's the problem. When you've got Mannimarco, you've got a lot of different things you can do, and you're at this point in the game, pressure is on. You know, opponents breathing down your neck. It can be very difficult to really be thinking things through. And I know from my perspective, like if you're thinking this is my way forward, this is what I need to play in order to do. If Gravedigger tries to get rid of Guardians, he is going to be so sad. That's always the worst. When you think, okay, I'm going to get rid of all these, and then you only see 2 of them, and you're like, oh man, he's got another one in his hand. Nope. Okay, so he's getting rid of. That's a weird pick, because he knows it's an intelligence card. Ice doesn't run those natively. And we can see again, Ice is going to heal for another 3. I'm guessing he's bringing back a Parthenax, because that's what you do. Come on, Gravedigger, don't... nope, yeah, you're going to do the normal thing. Whatever. It's whatever. And, you know, we're getting to see... I'm so happy we're getting to see Frost Giant do arguably what the best thing about the Frost Giant is. Ooh, Hulking Scallon too! Oh, goodness gracious, if he can just survive long enough, we're going to have a lot of fun. Interesting, he did not play immediately, think to play the Guardian. He can do Thornhist Mage and the Viper. No, he cannot. Just kidding. Just kidding. Probably going to want to Shadow Fen that... Well, I don't know. He's going to take 6.
I have the marsh in my
Must be cleansed.
Ah, that's risky. It's risky.
The Night Mother will guide us.
I don't know if I said it before, but for anybody who was wondering, this is not alcohol. It's an alcoholic bottle. It's an alcoholic bottle. It's a bottle that once upon a time contained alcohol, but it has now got some sweet juice. I'm trying to slim down, and alcohol is not conducive to that. So I'm trying to reprogram myself, because I never used to. Well, anyway, the game's too tight for me to be meandering off into whatever. This is way too close. He's going to take another 2 from that daggone Blackhand Messenger. Can't close it out on this turn. I think we've got to see Guardians, and can't do Hist Mage. It's got to be Guardian and Treeminder in that shadow lane. And just hope he doesn't have the Mummify. Okay, he's going to leave the Blackhand on board, which isn't a problem. That's actually pretty smart, because it's going to require the Gravedigger to use a card to trigger it, and especially if it's a Cruel Fire Bloom, it has several really bad targets on the board for that. Really, only one horrible one. But he does have that creep going. He's got 11 damage he can do in that field lane. Not enough to close out the game, certainly, but something that can't be ignored. He's going to use that again, hoping to get past it. Oh, yeah, well, he's going to be able to do it. Yep, that's game. Jeez. Good game, Ice. Good game. Boy, you played well.
Apologize.
No, you don't. No, that's disingenuous. And here we are, about to bear witness to Vincenzo's game, running an Ebonheart deck, the Daedric Master, against, in a mirror match of sorts, I mean, at least in attributes. That always confused me a little bit when people say a mirror match. I get that the attributes are the same, so it's quite literally a mirror match, but functionally, it really depends on what kind of deck you're running, because they could be running completely different things.
The Hist shall heal you. I will cut your purse and your throat. If I fall,
Sorry, I'm trying to set up I guess it would be an impromptu spotlight with Inu. And unfortunately, when I leave the screen, I haven't gone far enough into the software yet. When I leave, if my cursor is not on this screen, my presence is on the other screen, I lose the audio. So that's what you're seeing there. Meanwhile, Vincenzo doing a little moving and shaking, getting his assassin in the other lane, making use of those archer's gambits. We do see the Guardian there, so we do know that, at least on Vincenzo's end, it's going to be more of a long haul. This is a control Ebonheart deck. And Ghost 6672 with the Histgrove is almost certainly, well, not almost certainly, is certainly also running control. So we've got it is probably, for all intents and purposes, a matchup. Interesting to see if Ghost also runs. I mean, when you play this, the Pure Blood Elder, you are running Unstoppable Rage. That's part of your win condition, is getting him to trigger. Vincenzo says, none of that. I'm going to gambit my way. Interesting. I wonder why he's apologizing. Apologies in this game are never fantastic. It's either really you're saying you're sorry, but if you were sorry, you wouldn't have done it, or it means I'm going to do something that's just completely debilitating.
I'll scout ahead.
Vincenzo bemoaning the fact that his ramp is nowhere to be seen. Although I will say, Well, he hasn't got the ramp. Now, okay, the Belly G is huge pickup here. Is it going to come in time, though? Does this spawn on turn? It does. Oh. I thought he came just in time, but he came actually a little too late, and that's probably enough for game right there. And now Ghost doing some shifty shenanigans. Vincenzo had the answer. He had the answer to those, to at least one of those. Okay, that's going to help. Rage is definitely going to help. I think that's really his only play here, yeah. Poke for face. He's not going to be able to play Guardians next turn, but he will, oh boy. Tazcad?
Let's go then.
No? Okay, that's not too bad. Alright, so Vincenzo is going to be able to, between Archer's Gambit and Quicksilver, clear the board, which is fantastic.
We must protect our stronghold.
And he still has enough magic to play both. So Archer's Gambit, kill the Baroness, Quicksilver, kill the Leviathan, and then ram into the other one. Oh, really?
Well fought.
That's a little risky. I mean, I think he's probably saving that for a rainy day. And I think that was Ghost saying nice play, but just kind of got that confused with GG, but maybe not.
I smell blood on the wind.
Ooh. And yeah, big enough for the breakthrough. So if he's got the Belly G, you're going to want to get that out and boot that 16-16 out of there. Otherwise, you are, yeah, definitely at the risk of a rage. And that puts a good... Okay. Talking a little too much. A little too much, I think. I'm doing the play-by-play commentary, doggone it. Even though half the time I'm missing what's going on.
May the hist aid me.
Yeah, the hiss hasn't shown up. I'm guessing Vincenzo runs his groves as well. Maybe that's the ramp he's looking for. It's not as common as it used to be in just pure scout, but it's definitely there. Oh boy. And I don't think he's got... man, if it could be alright, but man, if Ghost is sitting on that unstoppable rage, not fabulous. Okay, no, I guess...
Well fought.
Yeah, I think that's just Ghost saying good play, but doesn't realize that there is... Okay, I guess that makes sense. It's not going to let me control Vincenzo's thing, but I think that there's good game, which is well fought, and then there's nicely done, or good play. Or maybe that is it. Maybe he's... Yeah, he can close it out. Especially if this is a drain life, and it is. Vincenzo. Wow. Yeah. Don't need the showboating. And we are back into this weekend's event, where if you don't remember, in Surplus, any card you put into the field lane, or what used to be the field lane, will result in a random card in your hand being discounted by 1. I actually lost a game in this. It really sucked because I was able to get a discounted Tazcad. He ended up being a 5 cost, but my opponent, right before I played him, and the other card that I needed, he essentially healed for 2 more points than what I had. So I had to play 3 cards, including Tazcad, in order to win. But right before that turn that I was about to execute flawlessly and amazingly, with my discounted Tazcad, he healed just out of range, and I had no way to finish it off. So, but I do remember that. So that is a potential. You can. It kind of sucks because while Tazcad was getting discounted, every other card was not, and my opponent was. So Watson 540 is already at a really bad spot right now, actually. Bodhi at 190 just going for it all. Fortunately, has that lightning bolt on curve to stabilize things. Without that, I think this would have been over in this turn.
I see you're in need of
Bodhi hoping to draw a charge because otherwise, nope, not what they wanted to see. Not what they wanted to see. Unfortunately, Watson doesn't have a way to trade favorably with the 4/4, but is going to get some life gain back with his... I can't remember what is it called. The kinsman. House kinsman. Houseman, house kinsman, kin house. The words are there. I just don't have them in the right order. Okay. Still can't get around that guard. Looks like Bodhi is running out of gas here, although that is very helpful. Probably going to result in eating a javelin. Unfortunately, he won't be able to play anything else at the time, but it is going to give him a stay of execution. And at 20 health, I would call this fairly stabilized, especially knowing he's got that golden initiate in the wings.
Speak, citizen.
Normally, Burst Assassin, or as I call it, Gun Assassin. I don't know, I think gun works, you know, guns, assassin use guns, but it doesn't sound cool. Maybe Beretta Assassin or something. But anyway, it's terrifying once they've got you down to 12 because there's so many ways they can finish it off with cards like that, but it's going to be a long haul. And Watson's got that Dwarven Armaments, which is a great card. It's great to see here in play, and it's really coming in handy. Ooh, nice. Really, she's fantastic if you can combine her with any weapon that gives you lethal. You know, like the dagger and such. And I think Bodia just knows it's over. We might see a concede here. Hopefully we see... Okay. I was going to say either a concede or at least a changing in the turn. I think Watson is going to make the trades. He's not going to try to push face right off the jump. Although, I don't know, 16 health, well, 24 health, or, yeah. Yeah, and we've had a complete swing. Would that be the third lightning bolt? That's pretty impressive. It might be the Harpy. I don't know. Do you run Harpies in Beretta Assassin? Okay, and Bodhi's just like, I'm out. We rejoin Watson 540. I had to take a second to do some communication, and I come back to find he is already under assault from Lydia, the Persistent, running warrior, orc warrior, with the War Chief's banner? Chieftain's banner. Doggone it. That was close. Again, words are there, but just not quite. Watson 540, again, with a little bit of health gain potential there. Dwarven Armaments, 2 turns away. Golden Initiate for next turn. Wisely chose to play that in the Shadow Lane because even... Oh, but it's going to get crushed by a rock. Oh, no! Okay. He chose to take out... I guess, yeah, you're going to take out the immediate threat. But yeah, this is the second game that we're seeing Watson up against some heavy aggro. Unfortunately, because of that Chieftain's Banner, no good trades available at the moment. A little surprised to see her coming down instead of the Hive Defender. I'm not sure what the... I guess because the Hive Defender would have gone down immediately. Oh my gosh. Yeah, no, this is just... Oof.
Steel and stone.
So I'd written Watson 540 off, and unfortunately, I think he is done. He does have the Pillaging Tribune, but that's not going to be, which, you know, will allow him to drain for a little bit. But he's only got a 2-cost creature in that lane. Let's see. Is that going to be enough? It is a stay of execution for the moment, unless Lydia has another. Watson, you know, heart of the cards. And we know Lydia's not going to trade, and we know Pillaging Tribune is going to come down. Actually, no, it doesn't even need to spend that much. He can do just Snake Tooth Necklace and Tome. And he's going to drain for... I don't know if that's going to be enough. He's going to have to drop the Hive Defender, I think. He's back up to 13. His opponent has 11. 13 exactly. So he's going to heal for 1. Oh, man, if he could have... Oh, and he can drop the Initiate. Oh, my gosh. We might see a comeback. I mistakenly wrote it off. I was actually going to close out of the game and be like, all right, this is another rushdown orc thing, which is why there's probably you're going to see a break in the video a little bit where I transition, because I just got into the chat and started talking because I wasn't going to record this game, because it really was. It was by turn 5. I mean, you saw what happened. And there's some more of that. Is he going to be able to pull this off? Like I said, with that Pillaging Tribune, if Lydia does not take out the 8/6, she is going to be facing another sizable healing factor from Watson, who may just attack the 5/1 and keep his 8/6 on the board. I don't know. So Pillaging Tribune, he'll heal for 8. That'll get him to 18 and take... his opponent will have 12. But he's got the Hive Defender or the Golden Initiate he can play. So that's huge. So he might make the 6/2 trade. Nope, okay, he's going to keep her alive. And it does force Watson or Lydia to consider, what if he's got another Tribune? Like, I don't think I want to leave that 8/1. So we might see the 2/5 trade in. That's just a smart trade. You don't want to leave an 8 static creature on the board when you know you've seen Snake Tooth Necklace. Ooh, what a great pickup. Oh, man. So the RNG is strong with Watson, but it's also strong with Lydia, who is just pulling all the good stuff. Stone Shard Orc is a fantastic pull here. He can kill the Tribune just with but a toss. And then trade with the 8/1 with the 3/6. And has Watson back on the ropes. But Watson now with Bruma into Hive, into Golden Initiate.
Preparations have been made.
And maybe more, depending where the discount goes. Nope, it goes to Théoden, which is not what you want. But could go Gnarled Rootbender? No, another discount on Théoden. Could have healed for another one, but... So it looks like best case, Lydia right now is going to get 7 damage on. But at the rate they've been drawing... Okay, that's not the worst. That is a problem. And again, we're probably going to see a trade with the 3/3 with our Oreo cookie girl. Yep. And maybe with the 3/2.
I will end you.
I mean, Watson's just been fighting a tide, but... Oh, 1 off. Oh, if he could have snagged that guard.
Be on your guard.
That's going to do it. That's going to do it. GG, Watson. GG. Fun fact, 540 is the area code of Fredericksburg, Virginia. And that's going to do it for today's games. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for those who played. Thank you again to Vincenzo for the fantastic theoretical card. And yeah, until next time, keep playing.